Today, council and parties, we are here for the pre-trial of the election petitions that were filed before us.
We need to look at the process of these elections, because oftentimes process is where the devil hides in the details. We saw an entire election in 2017 overturned, not because there was a contestation about who won the election, but there was a contestation about the channel through which this process then was delivered. And on that basis, an entire election of the president was nullified. And they said, go back, because the process was not clear. It would appear as though across board on Thursday that IEBC had a few questions to answer in terms of processes. Would we, and I want to come back to you, Dr. Mbai, that are we looking at a situation whereby, IEBC is still cutting its teeth and that probably needs a little bit of time, not quite sure about some of these things, how to handle them? Is that an issue, or does it look like something was either ignored or, turned a blind eye towards?
I'll say this, and I'll say this because I'm a Kenyan and we are building institutions. We had hoped, honestly, with all the noises we made about the composition of IBC, that they would come out and try to prove us wrong. We had raised issues about the process of getting the IBC commissioners, clearly. And we had said, this is a dead-arm thing, last-minute thing, and brought in somebody like Noel. We knew a dead-arms come after an afterthought. I mean, we know. But we said, we are not going to go to court. We are going to contest because of timelines. But we just hoped. The moment you pick the Bible, Dennis, you shift your allegiance to the person who recommended your name to serve the country and the constitution of Kenya. That was our hope. Like what happened with Akina Chebukati and others. Of course, that is subject to another discussion. We had hoped somehow you not be so obvious that you are moving to this direction. Why am I saying that? Look at what signals of the issue of the vice chair of IBC. I mean, going to meet the governor of Magarini. The other issue we saw here, we have been trying to tell us who is running. And by the way, we have done our investigations. The person who is in the register is Leonard Minjeru. The person who comes to vote, nomination papers, is another name. So be asking, please tell us from the word go. Why she's talking about, what you're talking about processes, is that people cannot complain that somebody has run away with ballot, because we did it. Then you continue to count.
You did what? You ran away with ballots as well?
The people who ran away with it, we complained about it.
Okay.
But they went ahead to announce the winner. We'll be asking, how do you go about this? So personally, I'm very worried. But let me tell you this. Why we want to take Mbeere North, for example, as an example, and Marava. We have asked our partners, Eugene Wamarwa and the team that was in Western, to also go to court. Because, I mean, you can't come vandalize. Beat up the candidate, said Panyako, literally harass someone. All that violence must be accounted for. So we are saying now, the IBC must come in. So back to Mbeere, we are saying, just to answer your question, we want Mbeere to be an example, to tell IBC how not to run elections, and to see whether the kind of pronouncements that are going to be done by the High Court, by the courts and all that, whether they are going to help this country to tighten our systems. That's why we said, okay, hold on a minute, no much talk, let's go down now, let's go legal, because political is not possible, just to go and make sure that IBC does their work. So yes, there were so many gaps that we saw, enough gaps, by the way. We have like 5 to 10 questions IBC has to answer in a court of law, slowly, no pressure, no hurry. By the way, the court allows us, the law allows us 28 days to file a petition. So we are doing it silently. We are waiting for the court of law to be gazetted. Then we are going to move there. But I want to say this. You could see also the desperation by which the government wanted those seats. By hook or crook, desperation itself. Like we must win. What for? Let me ask you, if you come and bang and steal parliamentary seats, the sound of the people at the MCA level, that's where you want to test where people are. But look at what happens. Immediately on 28th, a celebration had to happen in this country. Do you know what happened? Do you know who were the victims? Lilongwe Summit Road. No contractor yet. Negotiations are still going on. I mean, you don't commission a road where the contractor is not yet done, work is not finished, not signed, and not mobilized. Normally you commission something where everything is done, you come and commission, then the next day people are working. But that commissioning course had to happen to come and celebrate. The bravado you're talking about, the lion. You know what? This is what is going to happen. It's a lesson. You know very well you stole elections. But you still want to go and paint it on Kenyans to go celebrate it by all those rallies. So what are we saying here? Let's be sober. I want to say here on record that at least what I know, Marava and Bere garment store, literally, that was, like by force, robbery with violence. Now, we are investigating reports. My brother doesn't know to hear these things. I am very keen on my words. We are investigating reports that at least some hundreds of votes of ID cards were actually bought at 10,000 each. We are investigating. We have told our teams to go look for people who are ready, of course, to file affidavits, right? To sign affidavits, because right now we are not going to talk in barrios or rallies. We are investigating reports, like I told you, that, IDs were picked, they were carried away, and all those kind of things. Voter assisted was rampant. Somebody would come 40 years, 30 years, say, I don't know how to vote. I want to be assisted. Now he'll be assisted by an agent, and then he'd go out and be given 5,000. I mean, some things are political, but we are saying, can we just be decent? And listen to me, decent. Dennis, there's something we call political hygiene, political decency. We want to come back and say, where will the president and the system get 400 million to 600 million spent in Bere in 2027? I mean, where will he get the 400 to 600 million in Bere? Where will he get all the people he sent to Bere? Where will have 290 constituencies running? Where will have governors and senators and women reps and himself looking for votes? I can tell you this was what I would call, a very deceptive win, because it's not based on anywhere on the ground.
I want to ask Kennedy the question in terms of the process, yeah? So we look at our EBC and how the elections were handled. So we have the violence that we saw. We know how it reacted in Kasipul and how the two candidates signed on the dotted paper to maintain law, peace and order, also being fined. But then again, you find that the very same IEBC is quiet when we have cabinet secretaries campaigning against the law, because we know what the law says in terms of state officers and campaigning and being involved in politics. How would you rate IEBC's performance during this time? Because we know election is not an event, it is a process.
Yeah. Thanks, Dennis. Number one, just like I normally say that, Rome was not built in a day. IBC is an electoral body that is important and very fundamental in choosing leaders. And that platform normally has challenges. And historically, the challenges that comes with every electoral body is on record that we've had challenges that nearly every election. That's why the law is very clear that in any election that people who participate feel that it was not done procedurally, they go to court. So the law is clear because the law knows that there could be gaps. However, I want to be very specific with the by-election that we had.